We're going to talk a little bit more about this with former Republican Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson. Good morning to you. Thanks for being with us on Morning in America.
Hey, it's great to be with you today. Thank you.
Now, first of all, I got to talk to you about this border issue. I know you've spoken publicly about Speaker McCarthy's plan to have an impeachment inquiry over Alejandro Mayorkas's handling of the drug and immigration crisis. President Biden finally going to the border for the first time ever. What is your response to how the federal government is handling this particular issue right now in 2023?
Well, primarily it needs focus for the reasons that you stated. With fentanyl causing so many deaths in America, we have to have a comprehensive plan to address it. And what's missing in the story is that we have to be able to go after the cartel. Whenever you look at the fentanyl production in Mexico, that is done by the cartel. We have to have the cooperation of Mexico. And while that was not addressed specifically in the cartels publicly in the summit, I'm hoping that the side meetings and with the law enforcement community there, the Justice Department, that this was addressed and they have a comprehensive plan. That is what is needed. And whenever you look at my history as head of the DEA, we worked with Mexico to dismantle cartels. You have to be able to do that again because they're the ones that are producing the fentanyl. Secondly, you've got to strengthen our border security efforts, and Title 42 is only a temporary solution. We have to be able to have a longer-term solution on the border. That takes congressional action, and that needs to be focused on by the administration. And so these are issues of policy, but it's also a national urgency to bring the parties together to address both the fentanyl and the overwhelming migration that we have coming across the border. We've got to be able to secure that in a better fashion.
But how do we go after the cartel more? Because it seems as though there is no vetting process that can handle the number of people who are surging across the border, and there are so many who just get away without actually turning themselves into Border Patrol. What do you suggest?
Well, first of all, in reference to cartel, everything you mentioned, they have responsibility for on their side of the border. It is the human smuggling, it is the drug smuggling, it is the information flow. All of those are the central point and focus of the cartel, anything that they can do to make money and control lives. And so that has to be the challenge. Now, what do? It is, as the president mentioned, you have to exchange intelligence information, but it's much more than that. We have to be able to work with vetted units in Mexico that we have confidence in, that we can share intelligence, that it's not going to be transferred over to the cartel. We have to have a president in Mexico, quite frankly, that says we are going to help in going after the cartel. Thus far, President Obrador has sort of had a hands-off policy in reference to the cartel, and that has not worked. It's gotten worse, and you're going to have to take some tough initiatives to go after them. It can be done, but it's going to take some leverage of the United States with Mexico to get it done. The leverage we have is probably economic, and we've got to utilize that to get their cooperation.
Let's talk about you passing the gubernatorial baton to Sarah Huckabee Sanders, sworn in as Arkansas's first female governor. She's also the youngest governor in the country. How capable and how confident are you in her ability to lead at this time?
Oh, I'm very confident. Yesterday was a historic day, as you mentioned. It's a day of pride in Arkansas to see the First Lady governor of the state, but also her agenda that she laid out in improving education, addressing public safety, and to carry on my legacy of lowering taxes in Arkansas and creating jobs. This was an exciting day. I'm very confident in her leadership and where we're going to go in this next legislative session.
Are you still thinking about running for the White House in 2024?
I am. That's still under consideration. It's interesting that we started the first of the year and everybody's been somewhat quiet. President Trump, even though he's announced, has been quiet. But the time is going to sneak up on us, and we have to have alternatives. We have to be able to test the message. We have to be able to listen to people as to what consistent conservative principles are important. That's one of the reasons that I was in Iowa earlier this week, is because Iowa is such an incredible place to learn about the challenges of the farming community, of the challenge of inflation and how it impacts families. And so there's a lot to learn there. I have a message to deliver. I'm going to be giving that message out over the coming months.
All right. Well, we're going to be watching for what you decide to do for 2024 and that run. Thank you so much, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, with us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.